Alrighty. So I figure I'd give you guys a little update what's been going on with my build of the cargo container port. So this is where I'm at now. Um, so after I finished building the cargo port, I did a little detailing. I'm not good at detailing. I'm still trying to figure out how to use some of the tools. But it's not looking too bad, if I say so myself, saying that I'm still learning the game. I'm not sure what all assets to use to build out certain areas. Like, for instance, I know that cargo ports typically have like a security area for trucks to come in and wait for, to get whatever containers they're going to pick up or whatever the loads are that they're picking up. And so I built this little lot over here. Um, I know there's a port authority, but I'm not sure exactly what all buildings to use to build a port authority in the game. So I just put the road maintenance depot over here with a parking lot and a couple of little assets to try to bring a little traffic over here to fill up the parking lot. Um, so this is what I'm doing. I've done. Um, I'm not sure about this area over here. Um, Looking at the Baltimore harbor that this is inspired off of. I put my bus depot over here because I saw that they had like a transportation building on their port, and also I put this fuel plant over here just to have another asset over here to fill up some space. And I saw that they had like some type of learning center. And so I found this asset for the Korean Knowledge Industry Center. So I figured I'll put this over here, a couple of parking lots. Well, that's where I am. Got my landfill over here just to try to make sure I got enough trucks coming in and out of here to pick up trash, because one of the things I realized with this cargo port from time to time, it's so much trash buildup that I'm getting those warnings that I got backed up trash. I don't know if you guys saw the video and when I built the infrastructure for the cargo port, but originally this rail line was off to this side over here, off to my right. Uh, and I decided that I was going to run it down the center because wanted to put ramps to get off the highway and on the highway to get to the cargo port without having to go all the way down into the city in order to get onto the highway. So I built this little ramp right here, and in order to build it right, I ended up having to relocate the rail line. So I ran it down the center, and then I ran all the way down to this other end and put another ramp that leads out and in, coming from outside of this area. So I ended up putting my post office facility here and the server farm over here. I'm probably going to end up relocating the server farm eventually because I want to build a tech center, but I'm not sure how I'm going to squeeze it in yet. So once I start building that out, then it's probably going to end up being relocated. Put a bunch of industry all back here, which is probably eventually is going to be relocated also. Main reason I built all of this over here is because as I was building it out, I saw that I had a really high unemployment and was calling for so much industry. And as you see, it's still calling for a lot of industry. Right now, my let's see, it's over here. My unemployment now is at 5.4, but at the time I started building the port, it was at 49%. So that got me back down for that. With building this, I put a regular cargo freight yard here, along with the terminal for the port side by side. So I got both of the lines coming in, and then I put it, instead of having a dual line going in and out, because sometimes it gets backed up, I put 4 lines, and I got the freight yard lines running separate from the cargo lines coming for the terminal for the port. And right now, I got a train coming in now. Now, one of the things when I was building this out, I was looking at the Baltimore rail yard as the trains come in and come out. That's the reason why I put it with one way in and one way out, like this. But looking at the area photos, I was having a hard time trying to figure out how exactly the rail yard was sending traffic in and out. I'm thinking it was at ground level, and I'm thinking the roads was going over the top of it. But since I built this sunken highway, it wasn't going to work that way for me, because I still have this parallel roadways on both sides of the sunken highway. Now, the Baltimore highway, I think one of the reasons why it was able to be pulled off too is because their highway actually goes underneath the river, and it actually comes out of a tunnel. So everything, if I built this the same way that the Baltimore Harbor would be, then from over off to the left all the way up into the rail line, I would have just sunk in that. But I didn't like the way that was going to look, so I like the way this looked better. So that's the reason why I went this way and just elevated it across. So this is my cargo port I worked on. I took the coal power plant from the smaller port that I had, and put it over here and build up some industry over here also. But like I said, some of this industry is going to come out because I want to build like a warehouse district, and so I'm thinking about building a warehouse district possibly over on this side. I haven't decided yet, as I still got a lot of other stuff I'm trying to do. Now, this over here on the other side of the highway, I built this because I saw it needed. I had a whole lot of citizens just started leaving, and actually my at the time, the money was when I started the project, I was making like around 900, about 900K, and then after I started building the port, I dropped down all the way down. It's like 300K. So I realized I was going to have to support. I didn't want my money to go into the negative, even though I had enough money to do everything with, even if it did go into the negative. But so I took inspiration of building this from Chicago, because they have like a sunken highway with State Street and LaSalle Street running north and south, with commercial property along here, and then you have residential that's behind them. And so I decided I was going to do somewhat of the same thing. Built the elementary school over here because I had a really, really high demand for elementary schools. So I built this school over here, and then across the street, the highway from that, I built the high school, which is right here, and put a couple of parking lots because as I've started realizing, parking is a really high demand in this game. These row houses over here is It's like the Chicago row houses um, asset. And as you can see, the back sides of them all have parking garages, except for these two. I don't know why. I don't know why. What I did there, I might have to switch those out. But basically, they need an alley in order for them to park, so that's why I put the alley back here for them to be able to park. But these are basically the Chicago row houses. Um, that's over here. Put a medical center down on this end, so that way I know I'm fully covered for medical. Put a couple of commercial properties down here to add a little bit of traffic for the citizens, so the roads wouldn't be too bad. I like to see some people walking and everything. I put some parking garages along the way, so there should be some parking, so I don't have as much parking out on the streets. On this end, if I remember correct, I think on this end I took off most of the parking, and then down on this end, going back to my right, is still parking on the street. So the way I did my bridges, most of the bridges are one way, staggered, so it'd be like uh, one coming across from the right side, and then it'd be the next one going on the left side. And what I ended up doing, I ended up putting a loop, opposite way loop, so traffic going to the east, it would just loop back around and go back around to the next overpass, which loops back around, going back around the highway. And so I did that with all the one ways, going back and forth, all the way going back to the west. Well, from west to east. And then the port entrance, that's the one I have the biggest bridge coming across. And then the ones coming back this end, these are basically bi-directional. So, so that's what I did over here. And then redoing this highway took me longer than I thought it was going to take also when I did it. And then I put this coastal road going around here because in Chicago there's a highway that's called Lakeshore Drive that goes from south to north and north to south. And so I kind of put the same thing with this coastal highway. I know in California you have the Pacific Coast Highway that goes along the ocean that's similar to this too. So it's kind of inspired, and so I put like a pedestrian path going around, and it's going to go all the way around until we get to the other side, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then this is another area that I decided to build out also. Now, here's a Walmart over here, and I was hoping that it'll be a lot more customers coming in and out with it being over here. But for some reason, the Walmart, it'll be in a profit, and then it'll be in a negative, and then it'll be in a profit, and then it'll be in a negative. And right now I'm in a profit with very little cars, but then I'll be in a negative when there's a bunch of cars. I don't understand how that's working out. Maybe that's something I may need to research, but I put a White Castle's here, a gas station, a pub restaurant, and a hotel right here. And then I ended up installing this asset right here for the mall for Beaverdale. And same thing with that. It'll be, giving me the warning that I don't have enough customers, and then and the parking lot will be full, and then it'll be an empty parking lot, not be fine. So I don't understand how this asset is working either. I don't really see a whole lot of vehicles going in and out from time to time, but I'll put it there to add a little something to this area. And then I have a fire department over here. Got a little gas station right here for the turn in. Another hotel, parking garage, another hotel. And then these are some assets that I had downloaded. and that I put along here to have somewhat of some traffic coming in. I envision this as being like um, what is it called? Um, I can't remember, but it's like these. This is basically this is supposed to be like a hotel chain where just with loft apartments in it, and so that's what I envision that to be. And then across here is some luxury apartments. Like this is it's all everything over here is just a luxury apartment area that I built out. Um, and I changed the color scheme so everything pretty much have the same color scheme match. Um, I basically copied the color and then I just pasted it to everything. And for some things, they when I do it, I paste it, it looks the color it's the same, and then other areas it like for instance, um, this residence here, um, color scheme is the same as these residents' color scheme, but they have two different looks. So, but everything over here have the same color scheme, except for the signature buildings, like the medical clinic, got the same color scheme, but as you see, it looks different. But Publix, I left it alone. I left White Castles alone. I left the gas station alone. I left this restaurant and the hotel. It's the same color scheme as everything else. So, um, but um, but these apartments took inspiration from an apartment complex out in California, and basically it's a horseshoe-shaped um, complex where it has a swimming pool in the middle, and I just kind of just changed it up a little bit because I know they have underground parking underneath the bottom of it, and the only way I'll be able to put underground parking, I have a idea, but I haven't experimented with it yet. But I do have these underground parking assets from the game, so I put those in here, and then I just attached the community swimming pool, and then built around that, and then I just built these right here along here, these row houses around here. So these are luxury row houses. I'm looking at them as like townhouses instead of row houses. So each like each one has its own family in it, and so that's what. Then I put over here, put a food truck lot over here for the citizens to be able to get a little something to eat, and then I got another parking garage asset I downloaded that I kind of liked it, and I was trying to figure out how to use it or what I was going to use it for, and so I just ended up just using it as an additional parking space over here around the parks that I put down. And I just threw down a bunch of random bushes with different colors. And so now this one here, I'm getting a lot of traffic to. This one I get very little traffic to. But, I have a cut through to make it over to the main road. Um, and so originally all of this was industry from my starting zone. And I had to wait, I guess, about 2 days worth of gameplay in order for the ground pollution to clear up for me to be able to build over here. And then along here, I have the administration building, and then over here I got some commercial and some office buildings I put down over here, and I put this asset in there, um, and so all of this basically is like work. And I put another elementary school here, which is full, as you can see, and then I have another elementary school over here, which is full, as you see, and then a high school right here. So trying to make sure I keep my educational needs kept up. And then along the highway, I put some assets along the highway, so that way, looking at it, you'll see the buildings as they come right along here. Because, like I said, I'm gonna have this going around this pedestrian path going all the way around, and probably gonna put some shops along the way and maybe a dog park along the path. Uh, as of right now, I just got crosswalks for right here with a traffic light. But eventually, I'm probably gonna just put a pedestrian bridge over this area. Depending on if it gets really busy or not, though. And then I got another gas station here, a Marathon gas station asset I downloaded. Another parking garage. I got parking pretty much everywhere in this area. I got another underground parking garage right here, and then I got another one that's over there. So I got plenty of parking, and then I just put down a bunch of random trees all over the area to cover up some of the areas that I wasn't actually going to be putting down any buildings. Um, these empty lots right here, I'm still haven't decided what I'm gonna put down yet. It's probably gonna be more commercial assets I put down because I did want to put a movie theater over here, but um, as you see, I haven't put it down yet. And then I built this little neighborhood over here, um, some mixed houses, um, and these I just did build out a grid. These I plopped down over here to try to get the houses as close and possible, make it look like it's one of those cookie cutter neighborhoods that was built out, a high end area. And then some of the more cost effective houses, I put those, basically that's what's over on this side. And then coming down this way, so this is kind of an amalgamate of the way this went down. So all of these right here, I plopped down each one of those. These are 1x5s with parking garage, so I had to put an alley behind them in order for them to have parking. And then these here, they don't have any garages. Now I do have some garage assets from the Chicago assets that I was going to put down, but then it just left this big open space, and I just didn't like the way it looked. So I decided to just put down, parking road down, and so all of these are pretty much everything the same. Same thing with this right here. These are more assets I just put in through the grid. Got more I need to put down over here to fill this in, but that's what that is. And then over here, I'm gonna put another, like a shopping district over here. So that way I have some reason why everybody's walking along the port to have an end destination. And I may put some more office buildings along here before we turn into the highway. So that's where I'm at with that. And so originally the Walmart was right here in this open area here, and I pulled that out along with all the parking that was over here. And this area I'm probably going to redo somewhat because this train station, I'm going to be pulling this train station out, and I'm going to put the train station over on this side of the highway. So all these houses over here, and that's part of the reason why I built this area over here as high density as I could, because I wanted to make sure that my population size didn't drop too much. Because when I started this project, I think I was at like 79,000 citizens, and now I'm at 102 after I finished building out the new area. But all these houses right here is pretty much going to come out, every last one of them, because I'm going to put the train station over here, a bus depot, and then I'm going to rip all of that out, the train lines and all of that. The hospital going to remain over here, but it's probably going to change, because one of the things I decided to do, I'm going to put a tram line coming from the shoreline over here to the port, well, not the port, but the train station with the bus depot. And then it's gonna leave. It's gonna come up from the coast, come on this way, and then it's gonna stop here. Then it's gonna leave back out, come out here, come across here, and go back to the port, and that's just gonna be the loop for the tram line. And then I'm gonna have a second tram line that's gonna come through here and stop also. But that tram line, I'll take you along the path so you'll see. But it's gonna come through here, stop here also, leave out through here, come out through the same road, but instead of going to the coast, it's gonna turn left, and it's gonna follow along the coast this direction. Come out over here, because I'm gonna build this out to another shopping district, or maybe a warehouse area. I haven't decided yet. And then I'm gonna follow the tram is gonna follow this back on around along here, and then it's gonna cut through right here, coming through there, and then it's gonna come around here, and then it's gonna go across both of these lines up here. It's gonna cut across here, and then it's gonna come across the river, come around the backside, and then it's gonna come back around, heading back up to the train station. And so since I'm doing that with my tram lines, I may, and I haven't decided, I may have a third tram line that'll be a short one, and that tram line will more than likely, well, I'm gonna be redesigning all of this also, because it's this highway interchange. When it comes off, I'm gonna change it where it's gonna end up cutting across here and then heading down towards the port. And so I haven't decided how I'm gonna do that, if I'm gonna add another tram line because of that or not yet. But if not, I'm gonna change my bus lines, where my bus lines are basically shuttling everybody to wherever the tram lines are at, make it easier for them to get around. And then in other areas where the tram isn't going. And so then I put up here, I put a couple of mansions on the very top of this hill. The Rock Music Museum, well, mansions. And I put both of those down up here. And then this is just another little area I put down, and this was just basically, I just plopped them down using the grid method. And I got a school up here, elementary school. I got a high school down there, medical clinic, and a police station. And this is the cemetery. Now, the cemetery is going to be removed, and I am probably going, now I'm thinking about it, I'm probably going to put the cemetery over here, along here, where where the highway terminates toward, right past the cemetery. So, and just use this as a city attraction. Then, of course, I got this port over here. I call it the water district, because I got my clean water coming in, and I got my water filtration over here. I'm probably going to redo this and make this a little bit bigger, because eventually, I want to have one area where all the water on the whole island is coming through here, instead of having multiple areas where I have to deal with it, because it makes it easier, I think. And I might relocate my oil resource rigs. Now, what I've thought about doing is go ahead and flatten this out over here, along here, and just having it come over here, and actually build like a oil container port, or because I kind of don't want it to have the oil container port making the city, being an eyesore for the citizens in the city. So that's what I'm looking at, putting it over, keeping it over here. And then I got the power plant over here. I'm gonna do more with this as time goes on, also, because that highway that I'm gonna be bringing from over there, I'm gonna bring it along here, and it's just gonna run along here until we get over here, to the industrial area, and then it's just gonna come through. It's gonna just come through here, and then it's gonna branch off to some area, and then it's gonna pick back up over here. And once you get past this cargo container terminal, I may move this to another area because I have an idea. Because I'm gonna be redoing. I think I'm gonna start working on building my train rail infrastructure for the whole island. So I just have that knocked out, and all I got to do is worry about building it. As I build it, then I just extend the line so that way the citizens have transportation. Because but eventually, like I said, that highway that I made is gonna pick back up and come along the coast on this side and follow along, going all the way back up to this way, and it's gonna terminate here. This is gonna be the last area for it, and so then this area over here, like I said, I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do yet, but that's what I got so far. I hope you guys enjoyed the build so far. I'm at 100,000 citizens. Maybe next time I put a video up, I'll be 150,000 maybe. But hope you guys enjoyed it. And this is my container port that I worked on. I'm kind of proud of myself, but I don't think it looks too bad for being a newbie. All right, catch you guys later.